Hans Wormhat. This is a really quick video because I just want to point something out, and then it's kind of up to you to go outside and look and try to remember. And for me, this is very similar to the moon being brighter, the sun being brighter, time moving more quickly. It's just about thinking back to how things used to be and noticing that everything is different. Everything is so different now, and it's because it's end times. And one of the big things of end times prophecy is that we're going to be able to see the signs in the heavens. And I've briefly mentioned this a few times, I think, but it's worth having its own video because I just go out and I look at it and I'm like, it's huge. It's just enormous. The Big Dipper. And there's a bunch of BS that people will try to tell you to explain it away. I have very recently seen the moon so enormous, like I've never seen it before. I've mentioned before that I think the firmament might be lower, and that is the best idea that I have, that the firmament is lower, because NASA Outer Space Fantasyland is not real, and what we have is we have a firmament above us, and just think of the firmament as like a giant lens, a giant projection device, but it's probably physical. It's probably made of something like glass or some really special type of glass. I don't know. But anyways, it shows us things that are in the heavens, and it's an optical device. It's optical. That's why there's so many optical properties like this. And the reason that they give makes no sense. You have, they say that it looks bigger because you have objects to compare it to. That's a bunch of BS. It's really bigger. It just is bigger. It takes up more of your field of vision. It's bigger. It's undeniably bigger. And it's not because there's things on the horizon to compare it to. That's a bunch of BS. And I think nowadays it's more extreme. I don't ever remember seeing this effect be so great. And maybe this is why the Big Dipper looks so big, because of the same effect. And I don't know, just a guess. I mean, think of if you had a dome around you and think of optical properties of that. When you start getting near the edges, things probably get strange rather than just looking straight up through it. Anyways, I don't really want to say a bunch about it because I'm not like an optics expert, but I know enough to go outside and look and see that it doesn't match NASA land, which is nothing but CGI. I guess another thing that seems more apparent, I'll just say it because maybe it's connected. It seems like the stars twinkle a lot more nowadays. Like it's more noticeable, the twinkle of stars. I don't remember it being so extremely noticeable. And I think that they sway a lot more. And that's not even mentioning the crazy things like nowadays some stars will just get up and move, and nowadays some stars will get really bright all of a sudden and then disappear. So who knows all the things that are going up here? Just all sorts of signs in the heavens. Another one I want to point out, I don't know if light pollution is just getting worse or whatever, but it seems like nowadays I mostly only really see the biggest ones. But you see how in this picture they have the speckled ones in the background? It's like I don't really see those anymore unless I get out a pair of binoculars. And that seems maybe a little counterintuitive. If the firmament's getting closer, why don't we see everything better? But so maybe that's chemtrail related too. Maybe just from all the spraying, we're not getting as clear of nights. I don't know. But anyways, I took this photo in just in my backyard, and if your screen's kind of bright, you might not be able to see it, but just to me, when I go outside, it looks huge. The Big Dipper looks huge. Kind of in the same way. I'll just turn this video on while I finish talking. This is a star blinking and just in the back right now. Go outside. It's beautiful. That's another reason I want to do this video, because right now, hopefully a lot of people watch this and just put some warm clothes on and go outside and look at the sky. Look at the Big Dipper. Try to find the Big Dipper. It is huge. I am not like a huge astronomy person. I didn't used to spend a lot of time looking in the sky in the past, but it's one of those things where I did it enough that I look at it now and it seems odd. It seems oddly large to me now. And so yeah, I just liken it to, no, I didn't used to go and track the moon cycles and look at the moon every single night, but I remember what the moon used to be like. I remember enough to say that what we got now is something totally different. And I think I've mostly said everything that I wanted to say. There, go look at the heavens, because there's signs in the heavens. Try to remember what it used to be like. And in particular, this video, I want to keep mentioning that it does seem like the Big Dipper is huge, just like comically big. I go outside and I look up at the Big Dipper and it looks comically large. Like, what happened? And I think it's pretty recent. The Big Dipper getting bigger, I've only noticed that recently. But a lot of this stuff, it's like boiling what's the analogy? Frogs boiling in a pot thing? That all of these changes have been very gradual. It's like you have to take a step back and try to remember what it used to be like in order to understand these things. I think that's it. I'll leave it at that. God bless everyone.